What's up, tubers? It's Tony, and I'm back to remake a video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to remove both the passenger and driver's seat from an '06 Ford Explorer. The concept should be the same for just about any Ford Explorer out there that you drive, or somewhat close to that, or for that fact, any vehicle to where you need to remove the passenger or driver's seat for whatever reason. I already have a video out there that shows you how to remove the passenger side seat in the Ford Explorer, but I'm probably going to take that down. I've gotten a number of questions from people about how to remove the seats, and a lot of folks want to know how to remove the seat belts. Some folks are struggling with that, so I just decided that combine the passenger seat and front seat and the seat belts into a video, and I promise you I'll cover every step that you need to know on how to remove these seats. I want you guys to keep in mind that everything you take apart will go back together in the reverse order that you will use to take it apart. For those of you that follow me, you know I like to do things differently. I like to get you guys thinking and using your brain. Here are the tools that you'll need to do this job successfully. A 15 millimeter wrench. Trust me, you can use a 3/8 ratchet in a 15 millimeter socket, or a 1/2 inch ratchet and 15 millimeter socket. You'll need a short 1/2 inch driver, and I'm missing something. Here it is. You'll need a T50 Torx screw remover. Okay, you can find these at Harbor Freight or any local auto parts store. So let's jump right into it, guys. The driver's seat. Before working on anything, seat belts, driver's seat, passenger seat, motors, anything of that nature, it's always a good idea to disconnect the black cable from your battery and then the red cable from your battery. In the end, when you're done, hook the red cable up first, then the black cable. So the driver seat is retained by 4 15 millimeter bolts. Okay, one there, one there, and you may find like a little cover over some of this stuff, guys, like this. Just get yourself a set of pry tools from Harbor Freight, pluck up this little cover, you can remove it. I use an air gun, break it loose, zip, 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 zip. You can do it by hand or whatever works for you. When you come to the back of the chair, guys, you'll find a little cover right here, and that cover, come on, little clip, pop up. Sorry about that. That cover is retained by 2 of these little black clips. Just take a flat blade screwdriver and stick into that groove, pluck up the head, and then you can pull the whole clip out. Do the same thing on that side, and it will then give you access to this retaining bolt here. Now, you can use a 3/8 ratchet and 15 millimeter socket to remove it, but eventually it's going to come in contact with the bottom of the chair. This is why I recommend that you also have on hand a 15 millimeter wrench. What I do is I go down in there and break it free. I start it with my ratchet because it might be tough to break loose. And what I do, because these things can be on there tight, I'm going to show you a trick. I usually take a larger socket and driver and I put over the arm of the ratchet for leverage, and it helps me break it loose easily. Once you break those 4 retaining bolts loose, we'll move on to the next step. The next thing you'll need to break free is this little cover so that you can remove the seat belt. Now, there's a little retaining clip in there. It's a Phillips screw. You'll see it. Break that loose. You can come back there and remove this clip if you want. But what I did was I broke this free. Forgive me, guys, I had to sneeze. I broke this one free, and then I just pulled this out enough to where I could get my socket and socket and this T50 back there to break it free. Okay, so I was able to do it just like that and break it free. With the seatbelt broken free, you now can push the chair back. There are two electrical connectors, one there, you'll see it, it's really simple, take your time, and one there. Disconnect those, and now you can remove the seat. If you're looking for the motor that controls your seat, there it is. If you're looking for the motor that controls your seat tilting, moving forward, there it is on the back side, right there. Okay, that's the front side of it. And remember, this cover pops off if you need to take this stuff off. Okay, guys, now we're at the seatbelt part of this job. And what you're going to find here is this is retained by two 15-millimeter nuts, one there, one there. However you break those free, do so. There's an electrical connector here that needs to be disconnected, and there's an electrical connector here that needs to be disconnected. This has a little cover over it, guys. Just pluck it off. It's real simple. How do you get this electrical connector free? You can squeeze it in with both hands. Come on, come on, come on. So see what I did? I squeezed in. I'll show it to you better this way. There are two little clips on both sides. Okay. Squeeze those in, and then you can pull this electrical connector free. I'm going to put that back in. Put the protective cover back over it. So once you take these nuts loose here and here, how do you get them out? If you'll notice from the bottom, they're sort of wedged in there. I take a short 1/2-inch driver and line it up as straight as I can, and you can put something over the top of this nut like a block of wood if you want. But I take this, and then I get a hammer, pop, 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 and that's how you're going to get that out. Goes right back in the same way that you're going to take it out. Do the same thing over here, and then you can slide this towards the back of the chair and remove it. Now, be careful because this electrical connector will still be connected. Grab an old seat belt. This is what it looks like. Okay. Push down in the center of this connector here and pull it away. Just keep in mind that everything you're going to take apart goes back together in the reverse order that you will be using to take apart. If you're looking for your, it's like your crash sensor or seat belt sensor that causes your seat belt to blow up and explode and let you know what's going on, etc. There it is. Okay. I guess that's what that is anyway. But anyway, so at least you have an idea of how to get the driver's side seatbelt out and the seat. So everything goes back together in the reverse order that you will use to take it apart. Just make sure you hook up any electrical connectors that you took apart. So now I'm going to grab the passenger seat because there's something that everyone needs to know about that, as a lot of people have reached out to me because they can't figure out how to get this part out of the passenger seat. So I'm going to show you that right quick. So hold tight and then we can wrap this video up. Okay, guys, the passenger side seat, it's the same concept as the driver's side. Pop this little cover off. Remember, you need a T50 Torx bit. T50 Torx bit to remove the seat belt from here. Okay, again, everything goes back together in the reverse order that you are going to use to take it apart. On the passenger seat, same thing. There's your motor and everything that controls the seat, tilting, moving forward, etc. And you only have one electrical connector that you need to disconnect. Just make sure you put that back in the end. Bolt down your seat correctly. So now, guys, we are at the passenger side seat belt. And this is where a lot of folks struggle. As you notice, it's the same concept, electrical connector protector. We talked about the electrical connector there. We talked about getting this one out. You may, if you decide, you can always pop this out by pushing it inward, or get yourself a pry tool and put inside of there and pull it down, whatever works for you. Forgive me there, guys. I got called away for a brief moment. So, how do we get this out? And you can go to the junkyard and pull these things if you need them. If your vehicle was in an accident for any reason, you will definitely need to replace the seat belt for the driver's side and the passenger side, because when an accident occurs in your vehicle, there's a cord back there and it's really strong. It will pull this in really tight, and then these things are damaged. It's the number one reason why people fail inspections. For those of you who purchase your vehicles back from your insurance company after an accident because you say that you can fix it, well, one of the things you need to make sure that you replace are both seat belts, driver seat belt, passenger seat belt. You want to replace the crash sensors, which are located on the front of the vehicle somewhere around the bumper. And you always want to replace the airbag control module wherever it is in your vehicle. In most vehicles, it's usually under the center console somewhere. Okay? But anyway, let's get to the business of this. Same concept, guys. 15 millimeter retaining nut. Remove that. Use a gun. However you do that. Remove this nut here, guys, but do not try and tap it out. This is why a lot of folks reach out to me and state that I've been tapping on this thing forever and it won't come out. It's stuck. It's not stuck, guys. It's not designed to come out. And I'm going to show you this. See the stud right there? So when everyone's tapping on it, they're trying to tap it out, but they won't look down to see that all it's doing is butting up heads against this piece of metal here. So what you do is you remove this retainer nut, remove this nut, knock the stud out, and then you can raise this part up and slide it backwards, okay? And it just goes back in the reverse order that you're going to use to take it out. It's just that simple. In the end, I'm going to say this again, make sure you reconnect everything, do a dummy check, make sure that everything is reconnected, seats are bolted down correctly, seat belts are put back on, tighten everything until it's nice and snug, and then back off, guys. If you're not really savvy with this type stuff, make a video as you go along. That way, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always refer back to your photographs or your video to make any needed corrections. I apologize to those of you that had to watch the first video, but after everyone started asking me these questions about how to get the seatbelt out, I thought it would be best just to make one video that shows you how to remove both seats and the seat belts and give you any pointers needed to get the job done. So thanks for watching, guys, and catch you next time.